Okay, so my name is Christine Hooks, and I am a proud baby boomer. I have 3 siblings, and we're all baby boomers. We were all born beginning with my big brother Michael, 1954, my sister 55, my other brother 59, and I come in at 61. So the high school music for my big brother was Led Zeppelin, and I ended up with disco, which I love, and I know most people don't. I see Dr. Gorman shaking his head. So my role this morning is to provide a quick overview of the generations in terms of leadership. And we're going to speak about leadership in the workplace specifically. And so then I will turn things over to Mike and his panel of experts. And what I'm hoping is that when you leave today, you'll have a deeper knowledge of the generations, specifically your team and your coworkers, and maybe even of yourself. You might not know that you have some trait that comes from your generational upbringing and not necessarily your environment in the household. And so I'm going to start off taking you back to 2017. I was at the community college, and I was teaching the real estate pre-licensing class. And for the first time ever, we had a 19-year-old student, and her name was Allie. She was very smart. And as always happens, at some point, the students will say, how's the real estate market? Are houses selling? Are you selling any houses? And really what they want to know is, am I going to be able to be successful? You know, am I going to be able to sell houses? Am I going to be okay, or is this a big mistake? So I usually launch into this analogy about being a Girl Scout and having to sell cookies and setting goals, and you sell as many boxes of cookies as you decide that you're going to sell. And this time, for some reason, I started talking about Seinfeld and George on Seinfeld, because I was always thinking that if George would really put his mind to it, he spent so much energy to remain unemployed or underemployed. If he had put all that energy to good, he could have really had a great job. So Allie raised her hand and she said, Miss Chris, who is George? And I got to tell you, that shook me, and I said, you don't know who George is? Like, I really thought she was kidding me, but she didn't know who George was. So I explained to her about Seinfeld and who George was. And then I went back to teaching, and the whole time I'm teaching, I'm still thinking, she doesn't know who George is or was, because it was the first time that I felt, wow, like I'm kind of removed from this. I'm not really, hip in any way. It was the first time I felt like I'm getting older. This person doesn't know who George is. So I have to tell you the rest of the story now. I didn't know if I was going to or not, but I know I'll have time. So I swear to you, about 15 minutes later, the IT guy from the college comes in, and he said, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Dr. Gorman has a presentation in the morning, very early in the morning, and I need to set up the computer and make sure that everything's good for him. I said, oh, sure, absolutely. How long do you need? It's just a couple of minutes. You can stay put. So we just stood and visited, and we were quiet. The next thing I know, I hear this familiar voice behind me, and I turn around, and it was Seinfeld, and it was George Costanza. And I don't know how you did that, but well played. And I've been sitting on that story all these years.
I love it.
It was great, so I had to share that. All righty.
Timing is everything.
Oh, man. So we're going to start off with the silent generation. We're not going to talk about that during the panel, but we just kind of want to give you background. And so the mantra is, be grateful you have a job. The influential events are World War II, the Korean War, the Great Depression, McCarthyism, the rise of corporations, and space age. Their favorite leadership style is hierarchical, directive, top-down management, a clear chain of command and control. And then how to lead, clear rules, regulations, directives, mining their wisdom with questions and authentic interest. So these two gentlemen, of course, are not on the board. This presentation is giving you a touch of famous people and then the board. And were definitely long-term chamber members. Now, Joseph Pino is, believe it or not, still licensed and still under our roof. He's working remotely in Florida. He's, I would say, senior broker advisor, and we talk 4 or 5 times a day, and I really don't know what I would do without his guidance and his knowledge. And we all know B. Harold Smick and everything that he brought to the chamber. He was just such a big cheerleader. So I'm going to tell you, one time we were getting ready for settlement, and we had what I will call a chimney emergency. And I had had a chimney emergency 2 years prior, and I had a really great chimney guy. But I couldn't remember his name. I couldn't remember the name of the business, but I knew I had it in my phone. I knew I had not deleted the emails. So we're going crazy. We're Googling, I'm searching by keywords, searching by the property address, and I couldn't find it. So I was really starting to get frantic because we had 2 days to solve the chimney emergency. So I pick up the phone, I called Joe, and I told him everything. Now I'm really fast, and I'm talking because I'm really getting frantic about this problem. And so he says to me very quietly, "Would you like the number?" And I said, "You've got it? You found it?" He says, "Well, while you were whining, I looked in the yellow pages." So, institutional knowledge, they know things that we probably will never know. So my point here is all the generations bring value and bring something to the table. So I just wanted to point that out to you. All right, so next up are the baby boomers, my people. Do baby boomers want to admit and raise their hands? So our mantra is, I deserve better. Influential events, the Vietnam War, civil rights. Okay, I just have to say it. It's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's where that came from. JFK, MLK Jr., Watergate, the Cold War, and the first man on the moon. Our leadership style is collegial, consensus, democratic, goal-oriented, and demanding. So how to lead? We lead through challenge, competition, crusading a cause, teamwork, data and processes, recognition, anxious to please, and believe it or not, there are 41 million boomers still in the workforce. So that makes up about 30%. And I forgot to tell you, there's still 2% of the silent generation in the workforce. So motivation for boomers, nice office, corner office, bonuses, monikers that signify and have status and show appreciation and accomplishment. So now we're going to move on to Gen X. Where are my Gen X? Okay. So your mantra is keep it real. Influential events. I want my MTV. Computer, divorce, mom at work, energy crisis, Challenger explosion, Berlin Wall, Y2K, internet boom, and bust. Leadership style, fast-paced, efficient, this sounds like Kim, flexible, informal, competence matters. Challenge to others, and they challenge themselves, and they ask why. Just like a little kid, why? They want to know. So how to lead? Look for meaningful work to feel significant. Offer independence and flexibility. Work-life balance became a thing. Recognition on merit, not on age, not on seniority. So there's about 33% of the workforce that are Gen X. How do you motivate? Freedom to work on their own, recognition for achievements, keep it real, and keep it authentic. Now we move on to the millennials, who really for years got a bad rap. So where are my millennials? Okay, good. So, millennials, your mantra is life is a buffet. Influential events. I have to say, these events made me sad because my kids are both millennials. So the first one is 9/11, school shootings, Iraq and Afghanistan wars, the Great Recession, and Barack Obama. Leadership style, collaborative, networked, flexible, empower, achievement-oriented, and how to lead millennials. Now, this is the longest list of any generation, so I'm just going to go with it because I think it speaks to what they need and who they are, and it is definitely a change. Need to be coached, not commanded. Require authentic, transparent leadership. They want meaningful work attached to their identity, and they want to be challenged. They don't want a boring job. They want flexibility and fun, engaged. They want to be engaged at work. They want the culture to be with positive people. They want to build relationships with their coworkers, and they want to be trusted in spite of their age. Motivated by learning, appreciate their mentors, and they're looking for stability. So basically, they want it all. So watch out, guys, because the millennials are 56 million strong. Right now, they make up 35% of the workforce, and they are taking over. The boomers are retiring, and the millennials are stepping into leadership roles. Motivation. Meaningful work, serving people. They want immediate and frequent feedback. Be nice. They don't want mean people. Jason shaking his head. No micromanaging. Desire to change every 3 months. Now that was shocking to me. As a leader, that's hard. Alrighty, Generation Z. Mantra. I'm coping and hoping. Do we have any Gen Z? I know we have Julia.
I'm a cuspy.
You're a cusp.
So I slightly identify.
So you'll have to tell us if this is accurate. Leaders of influential events, WikiLeaks, Arab Spring, which I had to Google. I didn't even know what Arab Spring was. Donald Trump, a world divided and seamless technology. Leadership style, inspiring co-creators. So here's our famous people, which I have to tell you, I knew Billie Eilish. I didn't know Emma Chamberlain, but her story is very impressive. She came to celebrity just through YouTube videos. Halle Bailey is the new Ariel, Little Mermaid. Millie Bobby Brown, actress, and I did know Zendaya, so I felt a little bit redeemed there. So, okay, so they want brief feedback, often as a coach, create structure, give clear directions, but allow for flexibility and to work independently. They want everyone to be open, be transparent. They want to be rewarded, and they feel that what is noticed and what is rewarded gets repeated. They want opportunities for quick advancement and lots of recognition and personal growth. And their motivation, oh, I have to show you our board member. Poor Matt. He's all by himself. That made me sad for him. Motivation, let them do it on a screen and they'll be happy. Let them do it their own way. Okay. So now we're coming to an end. I think I'm doing good on my time, Bill Clark. So the generations may have conflicting views of business operations. For example, the mantra of the baby boomers, and you've probably said it, I know I say it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right, John? So the mantra of the millennials seems to be, well, even if it ain't broke, we should change it and make it better. And then the Xer generation that's in between the two. So they're a little bit more laid back, and they feel like they would chime in like, why are you both wasting time thinking about and talking about things that ain't broke? Life is too short. Just relax. If you both agree it ain't broke, count your blessings. Just leave it alone. Life is about balancing agreement and disagreement. Relax. And so that brings me to the end. I would like to say that I have pointed out, I didn't want to get there yet. I have pointed out the differences. Okay. I'm missing a screen. There it is. That's what I wanted to show you. And yes, we do have a lot of differences. But when I polled the board, I asked them what was their birth year, what was their favorite toy, and what leadership trait did they admire most in their favorite leader. And these are the words that they came up with, and I'm just going to go ahead and read them because there's so much that's alike in this, and that's what I like to leave things with like a happy ending. So this is where we all get along and we're alike. Honesty, effective communication, respectful, self-aware, courageous, empathetic. Empathy was the biggest, most often the answer. Trustworthy, community-focused, calmness under pressure, integrity, humble, lead by example, detail-oriented, collaborative, not afraid to get your hands dirty. So you can't tell which generation said these words, right? So this is where we all come together and do good things. So I would just like to say that I really appreciate being here. I have my resources listed if anyone would like a copy of the PowerPoint, because each chart has 11 traits, but we just did not have time today. And I just want to say thank you, and these are my favorite toys. So there you go.
Thank you.